Hey, so this is going to be a demo of my project called the Southern Abortion Access. This project was my final project as part of the Flatiron School. So it was supposed to be a culmination of what I had learned over 15 weeks in terms of technologies, as well as uh, the, what I felt very passionate about. And so this project is something that I do care a lot about, and therefore it was really motivating me to work on it for 3 weeks. So the purpose of this program is to help people living in Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia find abortion clinics and abortion funds, which helps them pay for it. The reason that I actually limited it to these 8 states was twofold. One is that the laws in these states are very restrictive, and it's very hard for people who need abortions to be able to find clinics that offer them, as well as find ways to pay for it, because a lot of times Medicaid, Obamacare, and private health insurance don't cover many instances of abortions in these states. Another reason was a time constraint. Because I had 3 weeks, while that is a good chunk of time, as laws vary so significantly in each of these states, and there are many abortion clinics in the country overall, I wanted to be limited in scope so that I would be able to have a fully fledged project, even if it did not cover all 50 states. So here is the landing page of my project. This is what someone would see when signing in. I styled this project using CSS as well as Semantic UI to do some features like buttons, forms, modals. This landing page greets users to the program as well as informs them on how much they are able to use without signing in. I wanted to make sure that this program was accessible for people who did not want to give any personal information at all, which is very understandable given the sensitive nature of abortion procedures and the fact that a lot of people don't want their email attached to this site at all. So I'll show you up to what point you can use it without signing in. So if you navigate to the About page, here you can learn more about the purpose of the program, as well as some other questions that people might have. So if you click on any of these squares, you can learn more. So here I talk about the need for this kind of program, why simply typing abortion clinics into Google Maps is not a very safe thing to do, because what comes up are often not legitimate medical centers. I talk about why I chose these states, what an abortion fund is. Down here are some links to where people can get more information about abortions and abortion laws, as well as where I got the information for this program. The first few websites, the National Abortion Federation, Planned Parenthood, and abortion clinics online, those are where I got information for clinics through the US. The National Network of Abortion Funds was a website that I scraped using Nokogiri for my search feature for abortion funds. And the Abortion Policy API, I used RestClient in order to make fetch requests to that API regarding different laws in each state. And then at the bottom of this About page is where you can find links to contact your senators and representatives. So here's the laws page. This is where I use the Abortion Policy API and using REST-Client to make fetch requests to each of these. Because abortion laws vary so significantly state by state, it was very important to me that I separate them so that any user of this site would know exactly what laws apply to them. So if you click on Alabama, once it loads, here it gives you information on gestational limits, insurance coverage, when you are considered a minor, and what waiting periods apply to you in your state. In all of the states in which that I chose for this project, there is a waiting period of at least 24 hours and at max 72 hours, and therefore it's very important that someone knows exactly what they will experience when they go into a clinic. Just because you make an appointment for one day does not mean you will get an abortion on that day, and therefore it's critical that someone knows exactly how they need to be planning. So if you move over to the fund fund search page. Funds are state by state except for one fund, which is national. So here users can find funds by clicking on the state in which they live. So once it loads, this is a list of all of the funds that could apply to someone living in Texas, as you can see here, as well as the one national fund that could apply to anyone. These are all links to places where users can find more information about the funds and how to contact them. Here is the clinic search page, which operates similarly. You simply select a state, Georgia, for example. And now here are all of the clinics in Georgia. There are the addresses, any phone numbers, as well as links to their websites. Now, everything that we've done up to this point has been done without having to sign in. However, if a user does want to sign in, I enabled Firebase into this application so that you are simply able to sign in with Google, and my project itself does not actually store any passwords. Since I've signed in using my email before, you don't actually see what happens when you click on that, but essentially all you do is you just click on your email, and if you've previously signed in, then it automatically logs you in. So now that I'm signed in, the new thing that pops up in my nav bar is your profile. So if you click on that, it brings you to this page that has all information that is pertinent to your procedure. I wanted to keep it all on one page to really make this site as easy to use for users as possible. So here you can find all information related to your clinic, any abortion funds that you have contacted or are intending to contact, as well as how much money they've granted you, a checklist of items to keep track of, as well as an itinerary, which is especially important when considering that waiting periods are so prevalent in these states. So you are able to choose your clinic either by clicking this button or by clicking on Clinic Search. So if you already know what clinic you have in mind, you can select your clinic from this drop-down list. Otherwise, you can navigate back to the Clinic Search page, click on a state, and then you can save that clinic to your profile. Once it says that clinic is saved, if you go back to your profile, here you can see that same clinic is now on your profile, as well as its address and phone numbers. You can edit your appointment dates here using this calendar and add any appointment notes here. Here is my funds, so it's important to be able to keep track of the cost of your procedure, which funds you've contacted, of those contacted, how much money has been granted to you, and therefore really quickly be able to see how much money has not yet been covered by any abortion funds. So here, if I would like to add a fund, I can also do so by the fund search or on this page. So if I select the Clinic Access Support Network, I can quickly check contacted and say that they have given me $200. So there you can see that the amount that has been granted by those two funds has been subtracted by the cost of procedure. If that is no longer the accurate cost, I can edit that number here. And at any time, I can remove the funds if I no longer want them to be on my page. So here is the final part of my project, and it is the checklist and itinerary. Checklists are for things like remember to rent a car, remember to get time off work, and so I wanted to make sure that people could just add really simple tasks here and could check and uncheck them as necessary. At the bottom is an itinerary which includes dates. This is particularly useful for waiting periods when you might need to go into a doctor's office multiple times on different days. So if you click Add to Itinerary, you can select a date from here, as well as the information. It was pre-filled with information that I have just put in. And you can delete it at any time here. At the bottom of your screen, you can delete your account, and you can sign out on the homepage. And that is my project. If you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to contact me.